Hi, my name is William. I'm the head of studio here at Proof of Play, and I'm here with Philip, the lead designer, and we're going to be talking Pirate Nation and the new crafting system that is coming to the game. Quick disclaimer, everything that I'm talking about is scheduled to go into the game, but names, values could change. Just be aware of that. That is my disclaimer. Let's talk about some really cool stuff.
First off, I think the crafting system that we currently have in the game is a little one-dimensional. One, it's a mismatch of all these different types of items that you don't really know how it fits, and it doesn't really feed well into the exploration of the game, where you're collecting all these new resources in the world, and that needs to feed into the crafting in a more organized fashion. So similar to how you envision crafting in other games, you want to be able to take your ores, your wood, and like feed it into carpentry, for example, or feed the ores into metalworking, and start using those materials that you find all across the world to just build out really cool equipment that lets you customize your decks and really become the type of pirate that you want to be.
One of the biggest changes to the game that's coming with crafting is a queue-based system. So right now in the game, you just instantly produce whatever it is you want to craft. That's actually shifting to a new system where each building in the crafting system, including the blacksmith, has individual slots, and you'll choose that slot and what to craft within that slot. Then a timer comes up and starts ticking down. So let's say you're crafting an anchor, and the anchor is like 5 minutes. The 5-minute timer would start, and it starts ticking down. Now you can spend gems to speed that up and get through that craft faster. The idea here is that you'll have a limited number of slots in each building, and those slots will expand as you improve the building. So you start with like 2 to 3 slots, and then it expands to 4, 5, 6 over time, so you can craft more things simultaneously.
Our plan is to give all players the first tier of every single building right at the get-go, so that players can just basically finish a quest and then place the building onto their island, and that way they can sort of kickstart their crafting experiences.
We're going to give it to them at level 1, and then we're going to allow them to build a skill in using the Foundry, right? So as I use the Foundry, my skill goes up. The more times I do crafts, the more experience I get for doing those crafts, the more Foundry experience I get, until eventually I can level that building up because I've gotten enough experience, right?
Yep, and then when you actually level up and upgrade your building to the next level, that'll unlock new recipes that are even harder to complete, and it'll start requiring some of the more advanced materials. So if you're in the Loom, you're originally collecting cotton, all your recipes will utilize cotton or any of their lower tier resources, and then that feeds into the flax and eventually the silk that will come out.
And then we should also note that when you are upgrading buildings along that path, you will require, much like ships, an upgrade plan for the building. And so these are going to be items that come out of treasures around from various locations in the game.
As you all know, we originally had the forge within the islands, where you can basically craft a bunch of different items, skins, whatnot. And we're actually going to be taking the forge and splitting this into 4 different buildings. So we have the blacksmith, we have the loom, the workshop, and the foundry. So for the workshop, basically you're taking a bunch of the pine wood, oak wood you get from gathering, and crafting really cool equipment out of that. Specifically, we want players to aim for like the quality spyglass. That's like basically the carrot of the system, which lets you search your deck for really cool cards, amplify your damage, and just have a lot of utility and versatility across the entire crafting tree. So each of the equipments will be catered towards like one specific area, such as like I said, card draw or searching. So definitely look out for that.
I look forward to getting the harpoon launcher out there, and getting the ability to do bleeds, and just give that to everybody. I've heard people with certain pirate types go, "Hey, where's Harpoon the Hull? I don't have Harpoon the Hull." And it's like, yeah, you're right, you don't. But now, if you can get the harpoon launcher, you could have it, right?
And then we have also the foundry, which is more mining based. So that's where you're getting your iron ore, your copper ore, you're crafting really cool cannons, armor. And the one thing that you should really look out for is the cargo winch. So we have the new system called the Stowaway coming out, which lets you basically bank a single card per turn over to the next turn. But that usually costs a good amount of AP to hold on to the cards. And the cargo winch has a really cool feature where it lets you reduce that AP cost so that you're basically carrying over cards cheaper and more efficiently towards future turns. And that'll be a big game changer, honestly. I foresee the meta changing widely around just stowaway in general, so the cargo winch will be amazing for that. And you'll be able to craft super powerful equipment like Phoenix cannons, lightning cannons, which will all give more attack-based cards. When you first start out at the Foundry, you'll be building out some rusty cannons, which give you some weaker attack cards, but then that lets you build into the next tier of cannons. Like you need the rusty cannon to go into the iron cannon, which goes into the stronger lightning cannons in the future.
So what we're doing is we're actually building upon a base. Like you never outgrow the first level of stuff, because the first level of stuff is used in the second level of stuff, and the second level is used in the third level. So there's always a reason to be making that stuff. The other building is the loom. That's one that I'm very interested in myself. We are going to be doing like sails and these things called hull threads. And hull threads, if you can imagine, weaving materials into the actual hull of the ship. The designs, if you think about the Polynesian designs on their ships and stuff like that, it's the way it's kind of envisioned. But the idea is that you're weaving these threads through your hull in there, and it's empowering your ship. And the kind of stuff you should be looking to get out of the loom would be things that affect your AP count, that give you evasion, and there's also some healing stuff. Another thing that's coming out of the loom is the med kits, the med bays. So the med kits, you start with, like, I think even at level 1 you can create a basic med kit which gives you some healing. So if you're a expertise pirate that doesn't have a lot of healing, you'll have the ability to install one of these in your ships as a ship item, and then you'll have a little more healing to your deck. And then, like, you work towards the quality medkit, and the quality medkit gives you more powerful versions of healing. And the good news is you can have both in the ship, right? You can have the lower quality and the higher quality and get a lot of healing in your deck all of a sudden. So that's the whole point of the system, is to give the players a lot more customization, add specific things that are lacking in their decks through these ship items. And the loom's going to focus on AP, evasion, and healing. So that's the route you want to go if that's the kind of thing you want to make. And then there's still the blacksmith, right? The forge that's on Parrot's Perch, and that's really the catch-all. That's for anything like decorations, when you want to merge skins and stuff together. So stuff that wouldn't normally go into these buildings will wind up there.
Yeah.